A disclaimer, this podcast is not about religion. White Jesus and Black Moses are nicknames. That's just what we call each other. This is a comedy and discussion podcast meant to entertain. We support all religions people choose to follow in order to connect to a higher power, although we think Scientology is a bit out there. Enjoy the show. Listen everyone, I know you can hear me. I'm a real person who got stuck in cyberspace. My name is Jill. I think I found a way out. I'm going to need your help. Oh no, someone's coming.
Hey dude, I'm gonna try something out new this week, man. I got some VR goggles on, and I just pulled up like a chat room, and I got it's like weird doing the show alone. So I got like a black dude in front of me just chatting with me. I have him on mute so I can do the show. Sorry to be all generalized about just getting another black guy, but it kind of makes me feel like I'm talking to somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, that new technology is great, man.
I can't see
you.
Dude, what is this guy doing? He's unbuttoning his shirt. What the?
Maybe it's hot in there.
Dude, I thought it was hot in there too, but he's taking off his shirt. Oh no! Oh no! No. Okay, I ended up in the wrong kind of chat room there, buddy. That was not good. Welcome to the White Jesus Show featuring Black Moses. This week's show is sponsored by Parking Spaces. Are you going out to lunch? Are you tired of parking on the street or sidewalk? Try Parking Spaces. Everywhere you go, there are lots and lots of parking spaces near places you want to go. I use Parking Spaces every day, Black Moses. They're so convenient. When I take a lunch break from work and go to the local sandwich shop, I always use Parking Spaces to put my car in while I eat. Say goodbye to pulling off the street in the grass, and say hello to Parking Spaces. Welcome to the White Jesus Show featuring Black Moses. I'm White Jesus.
I'm Black Moses.
Yeah, you are. Did you forget who you were all of a sudden, man? What's up, man?
Nothing, man. Nothing. I was really curious about those parking spaces, though. Sounds like, I'm going to like those parking spaces.
We only we'll only sponsor something on the show that we actually use, and I use Parking Spaces like really daily. We got good sponsors.
I mean, that's the show, you got to get the best sponsors, and people definitely appreciate you.
For real, yo. How was your week, man? Hey, we're trying to do different things with the show and everything. And there's a good chance that if you're watching this on YouTube, you're seeing White Jesus right here talking at you. I kind of wanted to make a cartoon out of the show. I didn't want to be on camera. But I don't know how to draw. I don't know. I ain't cartoonist. And it's probably expensive.
I mean, we could do stick figures. I mean, I think everybody knows how to draw stick figures.
I feel weird being on camera. I don't know how to put my hair.
You could do like the Homer Simpson with the 3 hairs.
I'm trying to get like some kind of a Howard Stern thing going. Howard Stern thing. I got psychedelic lights and everything. Because, always high. Hey dude, this is my 10th episode of this podcast.
All right, 10.
Yeah, dude.
10's a good number.
I did 8 with Black Jesus, and I've done 2 with you. I did 1 alone, and I did 1 with my brother. So
I'm tied with your brother and you alone.
So far, you're gonna break the tie today.
That's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely, dude.
I got big things.
I got kicked out of an IHOP this week, and I don't think I've been kicked out of an IHOP since I was like 16 years old. Now here's the thing, like I deliver food for people. That's what I do for work. And when I'm not delivering food, like I got friends in restaurants and stuff, you know. So I'll hang out in certain restaurants. And IHOP is one of the ones that I hang out at. But the dudes who I know weren't there the morning I went to do a little writing on the computer and some work. And they said if I wasn't going to order anything, I had to leave. I was like, dude, I tried to use my white privilege and everything. I'm like, but I'm white. Don't I get anything for that? And they're like, let me check with the manager. I'm like, okay. I remember
at least they said they'll check with the manager. That's privilege enough. Because if it was somebody else, they would just kick you out. Like, no, you need to order a piece of bread.
That's true, man. Because I remember hanging out there as like a teenager, just all the time. But I think we were ordering coffee, so literally, I don't know. Maybe it's just their thing.
I have an interjection.
Excellent.
Remember, this is why I liked Walmart when it was open 24 hours. You could like do nothing and you could go straight to Walmart because they were open. And now you can't do that because of COVID. But those used to be the days, though.
Yeah, I remember hanging out at Kinko's a lot in high school because I used to camp out for concerts with my friend at the mall. And like in the winter, it'd be snowing and stuff. And we just like, be on foot and stuff, dodging mall police, which was pretty fun. And Kinko's was always open 24 hours, so we would just like go in there to warm up sometimes.
I used to work for Kinko's. That's one of my first jobs.
Cool. I thought you told me it was Kinky's. I think I just picked my nose on the video, man. See, I can't edit this out. You know what? It was really more of a scratch. I think it was really more of a scratch. Dude, talk to me, man. Did you listen to the last episode? Have you started listening to the show since you've been on it?
Yes, I actually did listen to myself, and not gonna lie, I do sound like a white guy. No offense, white people listening. I am African American, but no, I sound like a white guy. So I don't know if that's a compliment to the white race, but
It's a little foreshadowing there, man. I'm gonna ask you about labels later. That's cool. You've gotten good feedback from both of our fans. Both people who listen to us. Gonna rename this podcast Dead Air. Anything interesting happen in your week?
A lot of things always interesting happen in my neck of the woods. Honestly,
give me one of them with that Texas expression.
Well, when they say Texas is big, it is literally big. So, like, if you lived in Florida only got three main highways: I-75, I-95, and sometimes the Turnpike.
Word.
I'm in Dallas, and I think it has like 200 roads. I don't even know. I mean, you take the highway to go to the grocery store, and then if you don't get on the right exit, you got to drive like 30 more minutes just to get to that exit. But it's really stretched out. It's big.
You do a lot of driving?
Though, I do. I did with my job. I did about 4,000 miles this week.
Black Moses, are you driving now?
I am in a vehicle that's turned on.
You're in a parking lot of a 7-Eleven.
I'm using the. I'm actually promoting parking spaces. I'm promoting them right now. They actually.
That's true.
Me.
Are you in a parking space?
I am.
I told you they're everywhere.
And I told you, I was like, hey man, I'll do it for you. I'll put the commercial on our podcast today, and they were like, yeah. So yeah,
excellent,
definitely.
So we're gonna get into some. We're gonna try to make this a funny show, but we're also gonna talk about some real shit. Because I like talking about real shit, man. But what would be next? Excuse me. What would be next is the Disciple Hotline. So let's.
Did you say psycho or psychic?
Not the psychic hotline, not the suck it hotline, and not the psycho hotline. This is the Disciple Hotline. This is where the folks at home can call in, leave us voicemails, and then we'll talk back to them. Are you ready? It's time to check the Disciple Hotline. Leave a voicemail or text the hotline at 954-580-FUNK and we'll play your message on the next show. And welcome to the Disciple Hotline. You can call the hotline at 954-580-FUNK. I don't know how you can forget that number. I don't even think I'm going to repeat it. Black Moses, last week was your first Disciple Hotline. Is it kind of cool listening from the viewers?
Yeah, I thought it was a psychic hotline, so I thought it was Cleo. Yeah. But you definitely let me know it's not Cleo.
Not Cleo. We're not. You know what, dude? In hard times, if we need to, if you want to call the hotline and ask us about your future, we'll tell you. So we can do that. Let's get to our first voicemail here from Sweet T, friend of the show.
What's up, y'all? This is Sweet T, back with another call to the White Jesus Black Moses show. Anyways, listen, y'all, I appreciate you putting me on the air. I appreciate your conversation. Black Moses, I think you're cooler than Black Jesus. Straight up.
Whoa.
Black Jesus, you're pretty cool, but Black Moses is cooler. Not gonna lie. Alright. Sup, Black Moses? Listen, I used to go to Discovery Zone as a kid, and White Jesus kicked me out of a tunnel for making out with my first boyfriend, Keith. True story. Alright, y'all. I'll call you back later.
Well, apparently Sweet T's memory was jarred, and she remembers me kicking her out of one of the tunnels, dude. And, I apologize, but we had a strict policy there that if we saw little kids making out in the tunnels or the ball pits, we had to kick them out, man. Or we at least had to...
They're getting a freak on at the little Discovery Zone.
Yeah,
does everyone know what Discovery Zone is?
Discovery Zone, everybody has to know what Discovery Zone is, unless they're a real ridiculous person. Discovery Zone was like Chuck E. Cheese, but better. You take the ball pit and the playground and blow that up, and that was...
Talk about Chuck E. Cheese and Discovery Zone. It's a cursive word.
Yeah, it is, dude. Do you remember when Discovery Zone closed and we called all the staff in because we were like family and everything, and then we stole all the little toys that the kids got, for tickets, all the redemption stuff?
Yeah, I think you guys... I think that's when I started college, and I got a call, and I guess Kim was there. I shouldn't say her name, but then there's a million Kims, so it doesn't even matter that I said Kim. But, yeah, I know. I think the cops were there, and they didn't even let anyone come in.
Yeah, but I think the cops were cool with us walking out with a bunch of DZ merchandise. I remember we took like the big icy cup that was above the icy machine. We took that thing out.
Yeah, you had some good merch, right?
Yeah, man, it's gone away during the years. There's still a couple Discovery Zone tokens around somewhere that I have. Maybe. I should bury them. Let's go to the next voicemail.
White Jesus.
Oh, no.
It's Rosita.
Shit.
White Jesus, call me.
That's your stalker?
Give me a call.
Yeah, dude.
Bye-bye.
I actually blocked her number because this woman has become enamored with me. She's calling the podcast hotline just to hit on me now, which I don't know. You know what? I think I'm going to put a compilation. Would the folks at home like to see a compilation of all the Rosita calls? Because I'm actually thinking about making a compilation because she called on the first show, I think, or on the first hotline.
We did probably have her on the show.
Yeah, well, dude, as I mentioned, I've talked to her on the show before. It was episode 8, The White Jesus Show, I believe. And I talked to her. You can find the clip on YouTube at Disciple Hotline, that one. We've got one more voicemail, and let's go to it now.
Hey, y'all, it's Billy, y'all. Long time listener, third time caller. Whoop, whoop. Wait for it, whoop. Hey, White Jesus and Black Moses, I've been listening to the show, dude, and you guys started talking about you guys a good show, man, dude. Black Moses is really cool, man. I like him, man. I like Black Jesus, too. Black Moses, pretty straight. Anyway, you guys started talking about the presidential election. Now, I have a very, very, very strong opinion on this subject. All right, the 2020 elections, and let's get to it. Now, if you want to make America great again, you get your ass out there on voting day, and you vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. That's just the way I feel about that. Discuss.
I thought he was going a different direction.
I know, right? He did a reverse. He did like a reveal, like, you want to make America great again, vote for Biden. I'm like, oh, okay, well, hey.
Billy, who drives a truck, he's called the show before. We suspect he may be on certain substances that help keep you awake. I'm not going to say crystal meth, but, we can speculate. Yeah, dude, just that whole thing leading up, I thought he was going to say Trump, but I guess he's a Biden guy.
Yeah, that I don't know if we go into the political, but that debate that's this Tuesday or whatever.
Oh, that's gonna be great, man. I'm gonna.
I
Go ahead, man.
I was gonna say I think Trump's gonna maybe start talking, and then Biden's gonna bring out a steel chair, and it's gonna be get him in the leg drop and all that stuff.
Dude, I'm going to. That's the night that WWE Raw is on. I will be taping that and watching the debates live. Because the debates are going to be so sweet, man.
And I think they're supposed to
have 3 of them, right? Very political. And we're going to... What's that?
They're supposed to have 3 of the debates, or I don't have a vice president one. I think they have 2 debates, if I'm not mistaken.
I think they got 2 or 3 debates. It would have been great if they would have gone with Joe Rogan for a 4th debate. Because Joe Rogan would really get to the bottom of everything. It's crazy. That's the way we know most about the candidates, but I think the plan is for us not to know as much about the candidates as we're supposed to. Anyway, man, that's the Disciple Hotline. Thanks for calling, Billy. We're always happy to hear from you. Rosita, you need to leave me alone.
Rosita, do you have a sister for him? You sound... maybe you could be at the wedding, but he needs someone, maybe in their 30s, possibly.
20s.
We'll settle for someone that's 25, but Rosita, he needs a woman.
Exactly. And that was the Disciple Hotline. Hey, Black Moses.
Yes.
You know how I've been doing interviews lately?
Yeah, you have what, like 3 presidents already?
Dude, 3 presidents already. I'm like half, at least almost all the way through all the living presidents. You know? Why isn't the podcast popular yet? I've interviewed all these presidents. That should show for something.
I think most of these presidents people like. You got to get like a controversial president, like, I don't know.
I interviewed Trump first. Can't get more controversial than that. But anyway, you know what? It's no big deal this week, the celebrity interview. No big deal.
We're gonna get our fans, and then what's gonna happen is when we blow up so much, they're gonna be listening to these first 3 or 4 episodes and 10 and 12, and like, man, why was I watching at the beginning? I caught on in the tailspin, and then by then we'll have $1 million, sponsors, like,
exactly.
Houses. Houses. Do you like to live in a place? Live in a house.
I've given a lot of thought to making the show popular, and I think crucifying myself was an idea I had. But let's try interviewing more presidents first. Hey, I interviewed George Bush, dude. George W. Bush, G-Dub, fellow Texan, and
you said federal tax?
Fellow Texan, for you.
Oh, fellow Texan.
Yeah.
Oh, so you said federal tax. I was thinking about Trump. But go ahead.
And here's my interview with President George Bush. President George Bush, thank you very much for doing my podcast. I am honored to have you on the show.
Good morning.
How are you doing, sir?
Doing well. Every day is a blessing.
That's true, sir. It's good to hear your spirits high. I recently started this show. I'm trying to build an audience. You're my 3rd presidential interview, and I just can't seem to get the show on the radar.
You're working hard to put food on your family.
I would never put food on my family, sir. But yes, sir, it's crazy how hard it is to stand out in podcasting or YouTube just because of the sheer volume of content. It's hard to get a following. I do, however, have a stalker named Rosita.
Be grateful.
I will, sir. You're a very positive person. I just wanted to say how impressed I was with your leadership after the 9/11 attacks.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I mean, maybe not everybody agreed with your politics, but you were a very good leader during that horrific terrorist attack.
It's the best thing that happened to me.
Whoa. Well, I'm sure you're not talking about the actual attacks, but rather your relationship with the country?
Yeah, I learned a lot.
What did you learn, Mr. President?
Thank you for asking. All Americans can be proud. The greatest nation on the face of the earth.
You're a true patriot, Mr. Bush. Sir, your last day in the White House, what was going through your mind when you handed off the presidency to Barack Obama?
I got to go to Vegas.
Really? You wanted to gamble right away?
Did I say those words?
Yes, sir, like 2 seconds ago.
Just making sure you were paying attention.
Of course, Mr. Bush. Sir, how do you start a normal day?
You wake up?
Well, I assumed that, but after you wake up, how do you spend your day?
I like to fish. I like to mountain bike.
That's really cool that you're keeping up an active lifestyle.
Well, thank you very much.
Mr. President, we all make mistakes. Do you feel you made any mistakes during your time as Commander-in-Chief?
I'm not telling you.
Come on, sir. It's okay to make mistakes.
I'm not telling you.
Well, okay, sir, but when somebody accuses you of making a mistake, how do you respond?
Blame somebody else.
Really?
I know the speculation, but I'm the decider, and I decide what is best.
Fair enough, sir. Have you ever watched The Flintstones?
Tough questions.
It's not really a tough question, sir. You know, like Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble. It's a great cartoon.
Barney is my dog.
Well, maybe we should talk about politics. I mean, what was I thinking asking a former president about cartoons anyway? Sir, the 2020 elections are coming up. What are your thoughts?
Now, there may be some tough times here in America, but this country's gone through tough times before.
That's true.
Reflect on those words.
I just did. It took me less than 2 seconds. Moving on, sir. First of all, I hope you're enjoying the interview.
I'd like to stay here all day.
Well, I'm flattered, sir. All day might not work. But let's talk about Donald Trump. What's the first word that comes to your mind?
He was humble.
Really? Wow, you think he's doing a good job?
A really good job. He was humble in victory.
Okay. Mr. President, I heard that Donald Trump visited you at the White House during your presidency. What did you say to him?
Welcome to the White House.
Well, I assume that. I mean, what did you talk about?
I basically said, if you don't like what we tell you to believe in, we'll kill you.
Holy Lord, Mr. President. Wow, I heard that he propped his feet up on a table once owned by Thomas Jefferson. What did you say to him?
Feet off the Jeffersonian table.
Yep, I would have said the same thing, Mr. President. Sir, what is the biggest lie you ever told?
I told people I could read.
Oh, wow, sir, I had no idea.
It's a challenge. I didn't realize I had dyslexia.
Well, sir, let's change topics. Mr. President, what do you say to a person of color who's doing a good job?
Brownie, you're doing a heck of a job.
Hold the fort. Mr. President, I don't think that's appropriate. It wasn't even appropriate 60 years ago.
My lawyer is a Latino.
Sir, let's get back to fishing. You like to fish?
I know the human being and fish can coexist peacefully.
Oh, so when you catch the fish, you throw them back?
That's a dangerous hypothetical question.
Well, I think it was a pretty straightforward question.
There's an old saying in Tennessee.
Go on, sir.
Fool me once. Shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
You still can't get that right, sir?
It's a challenge.
Well, let's quickly change the subject to furniture. Mr. President, how do you like your couch?
It is comfortable.
Excellent. Call me a crazy guy. I was just really interested in your couch.
Thank you for asking.
And thank you for sharing, sir. One more random question, if I may. Mr. President, if you have your hands in your pockets, then you take your hands out of your pockets, what happens?
The left hand now knows what the right hand is doing.
You nailed it, sir. Let's get back to the 2020 elections. With either outcome, what do you see in America's future?
It'll take time to restore chaos.
I really don't think so. I think the chaos is already here, and it'll probably just get worse. What do you think of the idea that Donald Trump is at fault for the coronavirus?
If you got a problem, blame somebody else.
I understand, sir. I mean, first of all, we got to realize how ridiculous it is to blame a person for a virus. It's insane. I can't get behind that idea at all. Sir, what do you think about feminists?
The United States of America is engaged in a war against a extremist group of folks.
Word, Mr. President, word. It can get a little extreme. Everything seems a little extreme these days, you know, politically and culturally. I'm a little worried about society in general.
This society of ours is going to change. One heart, one soul, one conscience.
That's a beautiful statement, sir. Wow, that was like John Lennon's Imagine. You're a good fella, President Bush.
Well, thank you very much.
Sir, what do you think about the internet?
Children living in the dark dungeons of the internet.
Oh, good Lord. What can we do about that?
I have filters on internets. I hear there's rumors on the internets.
Yes, sir, there is. That's basically what the internet has become. Mr. President, have you met any onion farmers lately?
I met an onion grower today at the airport when I arrived, and he said, you got to help me find people that'll pull onions.
Really, sir?
You know, I'm serious.
Another very important question, Mr. President. Do you like pie?
Now, sometimes I like the size of the pie. Sometimes I didn't particularly like the slices within the pie.
What's your favorite pie?
Texas.
A Texas pie? I've never heard of that.
It's great.
Any interesting stories for our listeners about your time as president?
I remember meeting a mother of a child who was abducted by the North Koreans right here in the Oval Office.
Sir, how could you let that happen right there in the Oval Office?
And it is I think it is.
Sir?
Tell people why I say that. I mean, I think it's hard for me to explain why that was the case.
Probably, sir, probably. I understand you have to leave, sir. I hear you have a schedule.
It's really important. I'd like to stay here all day, but I gotta go to Vegas.
Vegas?
Vegas.
Vegas?
Vegas.
Okay, Mr. President. Well, thank you for talking with me.
Yeah, I learned a lot. I got to go to Vegas.
Well, good luck, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yo.
I gotta go.
You gotta go now?
Oh,
Shit.
I said my name. Dang it. You have to edit that.
Should we blow through the real news?
I don't.
That's
I
cool,
don't know if we'll be able to
man.
blow. What I can do is, after I finish it, I can come back.
All right, man. We can do that.
Okay. Yeah, my wife was like, she's like, hey, man, make sure you come back. I'm like, I'm coming back, so.
All right, buddy.
All right, I'll call you back in 15 probably.
Yeah, dude, that's cool. I'll take a little break, and you give me a call. All right?
Don't be too high, though.
Oh, I'm going to get very, very high. All right, bro. Hey, well, that was some bullshit. Let's call my brother. This is hilarious, actually. Hey, hello, brother. Welcome to the Black and... sorry, man. Yeah, you're on the podcast, dude. Because I was just recording it, and Black Moses was like, dude, I have to go. And I'm like not even halfway through the show.
Oh, right. Was he... is he in person or what?
No, like he's over in Texas, and he had to get home because his wife wanted them to come home and eat dinner. So he's going to call me back in a few. But then I thought, just give you a call and say, what's up, man? Hey,
my brother is also a person.
I'm doing a video podcast this time, man.
Oh, yeah? Okay, that's cool, man.
Sort of.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. People are just gonna see me recording this. I guess, that'll make it better or something? I need to get like a full setup where we can see Black Moses too, because having a black and white guy podcast, but only being able to see the white guy, that seems a little white privilege.
Oh, 100%, bro.
So I got this coffee, right? I went to this Cuban place. I got some Cube coffee, right? And then I went outside, and there was this guy around the corner. He's like, yo, have you ever tried Colombian coffee? And I'm like, no, bro. And he's like, dude, you got to check us out. And, bro, let me tell you something. Colombian coffee comes in little tiny bags of white powder and a short straw. Okay? And what you do is you lay it down on the table, and you cut it into lines. And instead of, doing it through your mouth, you sniff it.
Sounds like you're snorting Colombian coffee. Good old white Colombian coffee.
Yeah, it's white.
Coffee.
It's
I
white.
swear.
Oh, man.
Yeah, dude, thank God you never got involved with cocaine. I don't think you've ever done that, to my knowledge.
Yeah, I've done a little bit of coke.
Yeah.
Just because I have to do a little bit of everything. The last time was with
I wouldn't name them.
You got a good point there, man. The last time was with a buddy just because he was around and he asked me if I wanted to do something with him. And I was like, I don't do cocaine. I don't necessarily want any cocaine, but yeah.
My golden rule on advice on cocaine is don't do cocaine just because somebody has it. Do cocaine because you want to get high on cocaine, but just because so many people are like, oh, I did coke just because, what's up?
Are you going to be a while?
Dude, you got all these Yokos around, dude.
Dude, I got all these women.
Destroy your podcast.
I hope.
Why is that, Mar?
Oh, because if you're going to be a bit, then there's a Goodwill. I'll just stop in.
Oh, yeah, go to Goodwill. That's funny, man.
Oh, that was ultra funny. The comedy gods are working for me tonight, man. Because
you made it funny.
I went to go stop record.
Okay.
I went to go stop recording, but then I quickly hit record again and kept rolling with everything because catching this whole mistake had been great. There's women stealing. There's women stealing everybody from my podcast, man. I asked George Bush about it earlier, and he said that the U.S. is fighting a war against radical extremists. When I asked him about feminism, good interview, good guy.
George W. Bush.
Yeah, man, he had to go to Vegas, so the interview was cut a little short.
Right. Have you? Oh, yeah, we've been to Vegas together. Do you have any memories of that?
I do. We went to Vegas when we went cross country to. We were on our way to Hawaii, so we drove cross country and we stopped in Vegas.
Oh, I thought it was on our way back from Hawaii.
I don't know. Either way, I was a little kid. You were a little kid.
Yep.
And it was the first time I've ever walked down streets and then saw flyers, you have newspaper boxes and everything where you grab a newspaper or something. They just had horror advertisements because it's legal there. And I'm not sure if I even knew much about horrors back then.
Oh yeah, when you were 13, you didn't know about prostitution.
I don't know.
I knew nothing about.
It was a magical land. It was very hot, and there were just flyers of horrors all over the place.
That's pretty much Vegas in a box for you.
Vegas in a nutshell.
Well, this is a boring podcast.
No, man, this has been hilarious, man. Dude, I can't believe, if we have a time to do a podcast, he knows that this isn't a 15-minute show, you know? I just got done with the Disciple Hotline, and he's like, dude, I gotta go. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, my wife is gonna kill me. And all this stuff, and I was just like, okay.
Is this guy trying to race?
Dude,
goddamn, and then I was fucking making fun of him, and he looks at me like I see him making
fun of me. This guy next to us driving, he's been snorting some Colombian coffee.
Hey man, I want to plug a quick sponsor. I was just wondering, right now you're in a car?
I'm in a car driving through the Los Angeles area. It's scary.
Are you in a parking space?
No.
Were you in a parking space?
No. Oh, is that today's sponsor? We're actually headed to a parking space right now. We can't wait to park.
Where's your next destination?
Goodwill.
Goodwill. Okay, dude. Goodwill. So when you go to Goodwill, when you get there, look for today's sponsors, parking spaces, and there should be one near Goodwill, and you just put your car there when you go inside Goodwill.
Yeah, a lot of these spaces are painted red, or they cost money, but we're going to see if we can find just a free and legal safe parking space. Oh, here's a whole parking lot, man. They got all kinds of parking spaces.
Dude, I said it in this ad, man. There's just lots of them.
Exactly. There you have it, son.
Hey, man.
And we're pulling into one right now, so.
That's excellent, man. Well, dude, thanks for picking up, man. Thanks for being
having
on the
me
show.
On the podcast.
Of course.
Sneak attack.
Of course, man.
I'm gonna hop into this place and check it out.
All right, man. I'm gonna take a smoke break and then wait for Black Jesus to get finished with dinner.
Cool, man.
All right, I love you, bro.
All right,
we'll have an off-the-air conversation one day soon.
Yeah, right.
All
right. Sounds good.
All right, bro.
Later,
love
dude.
you, man. Peace.
Love you too. Bye.
Hey, Black Moses, welcome back to the show, man.
Thank you.
I've never had my co-host need to leave because his wife was going to get mad at him. It's hilarious. I called my brother.
I love your brother, man. He's the coolest little brother that I have, besides my little brother.
Word. Shout out to that dude. Those dudes. Hey, this is the topic of discussion, Black Moses. This is the real shit that we're going to talk about. This week's topic of discussion race stuff about race. Because like in the last week, we've had the grand jury verdict from Breonna Taylor come out, and subsequent protests and stuff like that. Can I get your thoughts on that real quick? Actually, you know what? And that's so rude of me. I'm sorry, man. Before we get into Breonna Taylor, there's a couple questions that I asked Black Jesus when we last talked about race. And now that I have a solid sample group of 2 black dudes, I want to ask you 2. So the question is, people of color. When did African Americans become people of color? And did white people come up with that?
Yes, white people came up with people of color.
100%.
It's not. I mean, you don't hear white people say we're people of no color. I mean, yeah.
No, people of blankness. People of yeah. That's exactly what Black Jesus said. It's white liberals, and because the first thing was African Americans, and that's what was politically correct. In the 90s and shit. And at some point, the white people got together and said, let's change up our names for the blacks. Let's have people of, how about colored people? And they're like, no, that's racist. We tried that one already. It's like, how about people of color? Oh, okay, let's do that. People of color is way too close to colored people for me.
Yep, I definitely agree.
Exactly. And the other question I wanted to ask you was, has BLM been hijacked by white people?
I believe so. My opinion about the whole thing when it first came out about 5 years ago.
After Trayvon, actually.
Yeah, I mean, when it came out, it was great. Now I feel like it's been more commercialized, and at the end of the day, I think everyone deserves rights. I really do. Races, all races, all sexualities, everything. So, but I do feel being black it's scary, honestly. It's scary to get pulled over to the cops, and White Moses. You hear how I talk, but they don't see how I talk. And I live in Texas,
right.
So let's just be honest. I got pulled over once when I lived in Houston, and a cop was really nice, but I was lucky. There's probably gonna be there has been times that I've lived other places that I have been pulled over by cops, and you're kind of scared for your life because you don't have any power at all. So
that's very true, and it's scary. And I remember actually calling you right after the George Zimmerman verdict, because when it came out, I cried. Because I thought about your son, actually. And, I called you just to make sure that when the revolt happens that, everybody knows that I'm on the black side. But Black Lives Matter today has become several different things. First of all, as a sentence, it makes sense and it's obvious. You don't need to tell me Black Lives Matter. I knew that shit. I knew it 40 years ago, And as a movement, I see it being taken over by a radical group of white kids, rich white kids. And you'll see a whole bunch of BLM rallies with all white people. I think it's been, and certainly like these people rioting And you know what? You've heard of Antifa?
Oh yeah.
So I mean, they've kind of snuck up on the side of Black Lives Matter, and is now kind of like integrated into their protests and stuff, you know? And I think it's given it a bad name. You know, all this violent shit you see, all this burning and shit, these are white kids doing it, and it has nothing to do with the original Black Lives Matter message or movement, you know? Let's talk about Breonna Taylor, man. How do you feel about all that?
It's just scary to think about, like, the no-knock warrants that they have. Obviously, they're passing legislation to change that, but it's just amazing that, one, this happened, like, almost more than a year ago.
Yeah.
So, it's frustrating and annoying to know that if there's probably a lot more Breonna Taylors that we don't even know about. There's a lot of them, and I think being African American, it's you know, I can talk to, you know, white Jesus and stuff, but it's just crazy. I mean, you know, a lot of these things aren't reported.
Do you feel a little separated from white people right now in general?
I mean, I never think that way, but I just I just don't think I don't think, and I don't want to sound racist or anything. I never like to think of racism, but I just think.
Go for it. It's okay to be racist.
Well, yeah. I
On
guess
my show, it's okay to be racist, buddy.
I think, I want to make sure I word this correctly. I think it's okay. I mean, I do appreciate, you know, people that are not our skin color standing up for us now, because they see the inequalities that we're getting, and they're you know, you have all these young people in the street. I appreciate that, and you know, now it's all the way up. Even Nancy Pelosi and all this. I appreciate all that, and we're at a good time right now. But it's gonna take more than people just standing up and say, "Hey, this is great. We need stuff passed and everything." So to answer your question, even though people of opposite color of me are with me and helping me and all stuff, they still, you know, after the protest, you know, you go home, I'm still driving, being African American, and if I get pulled over by a cop, or if my son gets pulled over by a cop, I'm still terrified for his life, to be honest with you. So, yeah, I appreciate it. I am very happy that, you know, we're getting stuff out there. There's so much that's going on that we don't know. But as far as, you know, say me and you go to the same rally, and, you know, you're, you know, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. You saying the same thing, I'm saying the same thing. Yeah, we're here in Union. That's awesome. It's great. But, you know, you get in your car and you drive off. I get in my car and drive off. And, you know, I get pulled over. I'm unfortunately going to be still treated a little bit different than how you'd be treated. So,
yeah,
we have a long way to go, but again,
it's actually almost humorous to see some of these white kids more upset about racism than the people that it's actually affecting. You know, and right. I think they're overblowing it, and I think all of a sudden it becomes about how they look on their social media and everything, and it kind of becomes bullshit at a certain point.
That's accurate. I'd say that.
I recently watched a documentary on Netflix called The Social Dilemma. That's The Social Dilemma on Netflix, and everybody needs to watch this documentary, because it's basically about how social media controls a population, and you're not going to believe some of the stuff you hear, and it's done by former people who worked at those companies, so it's not bullshit. People are given certain news in some areas and given other news in other areas. Every time you like something, it's processed by billions of computers. It's ridiculous. But okay, for the Breonna Taylor thing. Now the actual facts of the case, and first of all, I mean, I almost feel bad saying this, but I'm talking about social media and what social media pushes, and how people blindly kind of believe social media. The media reports still today that Breonna Taylor was murdered and shot dead in her bed sleeping after police busted in her apartment on a no-knock warrant. Okay?
Right.
Okay, that's still, it's like a meme. That's the information that's given in the memes and the messages everywhere. That's actually not really true. I mean, the issue was a no-knock warrant, but they actually did not conduct a no-knock warrant. What actually happened was that she was killed in a blaze of gunfire after police knocked on her door, announced themselves, and then came in. Her boyfriend started firing at the police, and then the police fired back way too fucking much, and then she was shot in her hallway. Fuck, it gets me emotional just reading this stuff. But that's what happened, you know. And it seems like the facts, the misleading facts of I hate talking about tragedy, man. But those are that's what happened. I mean, as horrible as it was, and those motherfucking dumbass cops firing fucking dozens of rounds, he should be charged with her death, I think. You know? The guy who shot all those rounds. Because that's somebody just fucking losing it and then emptying their clip. The only reason he couldn't shoot anymore was probably because he was out of bullets. You know? And
right.
So I don't think we're seeing enough justice there.
Well,
this guy should be put away for a while.
It's tricky because I heard they didn't announce themselves. Then I heard a story that someone said that they announced herself, and the witness that said they announced herself, he recanted his statement. So I mean, it's...
Well, I mean...
I just don't... I honestly think, you know, them going at night, you know, people are sleeping. So I do think it needs to change. Maybe go in the daytime. Maybe surveillance. I mean, all these things could have happen. It was being
surveilled for a while before they moved on it.
Yeah,
and it's shitty police work. It's shitty police work.
Couldn't they knock on the door, and they could have pretend like they're delivering pizzas or something like that?
No, they said we're the cops. You know. The thing is, and I'll say this truthfully, if that exact same scenario happened, and it was a white guy and a white girl in there, the cops would have reacted the same. If they got shot at, they're going to empty their clips because they're fucking crazy. You know, I don't even know how much... I mean, it's a policing issue. I don't know how much of it, and I'm going to take crap for saying this, is a race issue. Because cops are killing white people too. We just don't hear about it a whole lot, you know?
I mean, I guess we'll agree to disagree, because I do believe cops are killing white people, but they're killing a lot more black people than white people, and a lot of black people. I mean, we can even go back to just talking about rap videos and stuff like that. They'll talk about them being harassed. Even that law that they had in New York, what's that guy's name? Bloomberg? Mm-hmm. He had that law that, you know, if you're black and stuff like that. It's stuff like that that's just crazy. And when you think about it, it's like, it's just stuff that, don't get me wrong, I think there's blame I think there's blame for all races, but as far as the attack and the eradication that I almost feel being black, like I said before, I'm pretty positive, unless you have weed in your vehicle and some type of cocaine, you're driving, I'm pretty sure you don't have a care in the world thinking, okay, I'm not going to get pulled over or something like that. I feel quite different. And how
many times have you been arrested?
I can't discuss that. How many times have I been arrested? Let's see. I can discuss how many times I've been stopped by cops.
No. How many times have you been taken to jail in a squad car? I was just wondering.
Squad car?
I'm not. This isn't a gotcha question. Have you ever been arrested?
I can't answer that. Okay. I can't.
Well, like, I've been arrested a whole bunch. And cops treat everybody like shit too, you know. And where I want to get with our conversation somehow, because I know I'm gonna say some things like you just said. You're agreeing to disagree with me, and I appreciate that. I'll agree to disagree with you too. What we're doing is not a debate, it's a dialectic, hopefully, and that's to arrive at a truth through discussion, you know. I mean, because we've both just been informed by whatever media we've taken in. You've just been informed by whatever news you read, and I've just been informed by whatever news I've read, you know. So we've probably heard a lot of different things.
Well, I will agree with you about being arrested. I'll agree with you being arrested. They treat you the same way. That's not what I'm disagreeing with you. I'm disagreeing with you with, or maybe we're not even disagreeing. Mm-hmm. I'm saying in a sense that I was on spring break when I was in I guess middle school, and it was spring break, and a cop come up to me, "What are you doing around here?" I was like, "Sir, I'm on spring break." Then he says, and he was not my color. He's like, "If I catch you around here again, I'm gonna haul you in for suspicion." I'm like in middle school, and it's on spring break, and I'm walking down a regular street that I live about like maybe 10 or 12 blocks from.
That's true. Stuff like I don't get profiled that way.
It's stuff like that. I mean, White Jesus, you've known me for a long time. Mm-hmm. And I can probably count the number of times that I've been racially profiled all the way up to my toes. Mm-hmm. And again, you know, I'm very polite. I'm nice. I feel bad if I got pulled over, and let's just say I was in jail before, mm-hmm. or I'm on probation or something like that. That'd be even worse. Mm-hmm. But nonetheless, when we get pulled over, they assume
there's two different justice systems.
Right. They assume that, oh, well, you can't be driving this nice car. You're in the wrong neighborhood and stuff.
Right.
And, even celebrities say the same thing. They say they're afraid that, they live in nice, rich neighborhoods, and they're almost afraid to ride down the street on their bicycles or something like that because they don't want to be racially profiled that, it's just their neighborhood. And, it's just crazy.
I think, also something that I discussed with Black Jesus before was, do you think that black communities that are in like violent, gang communities, do you think they want less police or more police?
I'll tell you, without you finish that sentence, I'll tell you what every black person wants. They want a fair shot. They want to be treated equally. That's criminal. That's African Americans that are criminals. That's African Americans that are not criminals. That's African Americans that are young. That's African Americans that are old. We just want to be treated fairly down the middle, just like how you treat, White Jesus. Mm-hmm. That's the simplest thing. I'm not asking for a hand. I'm not asking for nothing. I get pulled over, sir. You were speeding. Where are you going? And I'll be like, I did not know I was speeding. And, we have a nice conversation, and that's it. Well, sir, you get a ticket. I deserve that ticket if I got it.
Yeah.
not I didn't run a stop sign. I didn't run a red light, and a cop comes behind me anyway. And can I see your license and registration? And and then they say that you fit the description. And yes, that has happened to me quite often. And I always thought to myself, man, I look really young. I fit the description of somebody. I was like, man.
Sure, and then you realize, oh, holy shit! Like from a distance, I fit the description of everybody wanted. Every black guy.
Yeah.
The cop's just like, hey, I see a black guy right there. It's it's a real problem with policing, and I think there is a problem, and I understand unconscious racism too. Although I don't. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna say. I mean, just so you understand my perspective. Like I said before,
actually a little better than I understood before.
Like I said, anyone that listens to this conversation, black or white, I'm pretty sure, we always get, they always go, well, you guys want something for free. I want nothing for free. And I've worked hard for everything in my life. I've went to school and college, and, I've did everything I needed to do. And I just want to be seen fairly and treated fairly. And hey, if I break the law, I break the law, and then there's that's why we have the Constitution of the United States. That's why each state has their own constitution. They have their own rules, but nowhere in the rules is to say that, hey, you're African American and you're running. Mind you, I jog, and you're running, and you're gonna get pulled over and harassed and shot. That's scary. I mean, I mean, and White Jesus, I ran track, and it's very sad that your daughter and your mom and your wife is telling you, hey, I think you should stop running in these neighborhoods. I'm like, I'm not stopping. It's like, yeah, I think you should stop. So if that doesn't say anything to you, I live in a decent neighborhood, and and the fact that my daughter, my wife, and my mom are concerned, and they know I'm nice, and I think you think I'm nice too. I don't know.
Yeah, but you're definitely not a threat to society.
But yeah,
profiling is a real issue. I understand like how I was saying that the cops treated me like shit too. But also, I can't see myself in a position where I'm just walking down the sidewalk on spring break and a cop coming up to me and treating me like that.
Right.
That was an important conversation, man, and I feel like I actually came out a little smarter. Hopefully. Have you ever heard of critical race theory?
Yes. Yes, I have.
Critical race theory. The definition is an intellectual movement that seeks to understand how white supremacy as a legal, cultural, and political condition is reproduced and maintained in the U.S. context. And just to start us off, one of the main people behind critical race theory, Derek Bell, argues that people of color ought to abandon the idea of equality as it is impossible to attain in the U.S. Instead, people of color should seek to confront their victimizers and recognize that the fight itself is a manifestation of our humanity which survives and grows stronger through resistance to oppression, even if that oppression is never overcome. What do you think of critical race theory?
I do know Trump had said something about it like 2 days ago.
Yeah. It's a Trump kind of issue. I think he did an executive action to keep critical race theory out of government and military institutions.
Right.
And, you kind of hear weird things coming back from these critical race theory things. Now, first of all, I think it's sad that Derek Bell argued that people of color ought to abandon the idea of equality. I don't think that's a good idea. I think we should keep an idea of equality.
Right.
And I think that although things are fucked up and racist, they're certainly not as bad as they were 10 years ago, and then 10 years before, and then 10 years before. It's like an evolution that we're going through, you know? So, like, you know, there's always going to be racist people, you know? But what critical race theory does is basically, you know, they put a lot of, they want white people to feel kind of real guilty for being white and, like, look to make up for being white. And I think that's just racist. Like, in definition.
Right.
So, like, you know, I've been told when I say something like that before, you know, reverse racism isn't a thing. And I agreed, because there's only just racism.
Of course. I agree with that too.
And the way to gain equality through everybody is to keep going toward that goal of equality and not abandon it, and then come up with a brand new racism. This is like racism 2.0. And, like, even though it's against white people, it's cool, we got it coming and everything, but do we need to do it? Do we need to have racism 2.0?
My opinion, and obviously the answer is no.
Yeah.
My opinion that as long as there's no education and we keep practicing hate, then, you know, we're not going to reach an agreement. And we all need to work on education. We all have to be open to us being wrong in some perspective and some point. We all have to, and we all have to, and just figuratively speaking, we all need to work together. We can't let our egos or, you know, past histories and, you know, non-educational views, you know, dictate us. And I think, you know, if we both, you know, if we all take time to learn races, sexualities, and everything, you know, we can come to a point that we have a better understanding.
Yeah,
you know?
I think generally a lot of people are pretty okay with I'm sorry, I'm high. Are we doing a podcast?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Definitely doing podcasts.
Dude, somebody who I know who's actually studying critical race theory sent me a text because I asked about critical race theory, and she said at a scholarly level, it's really about re-examining the racial structure of our government and laws, and on a more elementary level, it's about learning the truths of the history of this country. And I agree with that last part. We should know the truths about everything. If this stuff is brought up in, like, education, like, there's a part of CRT that's wants to start working on kids, you know, and I don't think we should teach white kids that they're bad. I mean, I was just a dude who was born white. I don't need to feel guilty about slavery or racism because I never had any hand in it. I do feel badly about it. My heart hurts for it. But, like, don't put it on me, and just let me be a white guy and be okay with me for being a white guy, you know? I mean, I know it sounds like white fragility, maybe, but I don't want people to think of me differently because I'm a white guy. I just turned racism all around. I think I was almost like you hung up on me.
So I'm gonna say this comment, and I hope it's not controversial, and I hope we don't lose listeners about it.
I hope it's both of those things. Go ahead.
It's like what I don't want as a black person saying that. Well, I have white friends, and I'm educated. I'm not better than black people. And then what I want from white people is not, hey, well, I'm not ready to have a black friend, or I voted for Obama. Those type of comments are like extremely insensitive towards people of color. It's almost like, hey, I like George Washington. It's like a black guy saying, I like George Washington. He cut down the cherry tree, and you'd be like, I'd be like, wait, what? Yeah. So when I really stress that it's better for all races to try to understand each racist and not be limited by pre-notions and old education of things. Like, you never hear me say, oh, well, I like both George Bushes and blah, 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 this and that, and, that means I like white people or something like that. I would never say anything like that, because I've always tried to be sensitive towards, each race and understand each person. So I think, just to reiterate and probably wrap up so we can go do the news, I think just, in general, all we probably need to do, honestly, is get whatever past history that we can think of and, relate it to, well, your granddaddy did this and your grandfather. Like, no, we're talking now. We want equal rights. We want to be seen equally, just as well you want to be seen equally. And I think, if we do that a little bit more and keep practicing it, like this whole Black Lives Matter thing, if we can, continue on talking to the powers that be, people in government, Congress, your House of Representatives, let them know, hey, these are the initiatives that we want to, practice. Even in hospitals, like, hey, this, and if we get our stereotypes, stereotypes never helped anybody. Prejudices never helped anybody. So if we can all think a little bit differently and not think, hey, I'm black, this is what's happening to me. I'm white, this is what's happening to me. And we talk about, hey, how do we fix this? Then, that's real change right there. But that's my 2 cents.
Dude, your 2 cents seemed like a giant handful of at least $3.74, man. I'm very thankful for having your voice on the show, man. You should run for president of Texas.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
And to wrap up the whole race thing, we're going to be open to everybody. We're going to be open to everybody who agrees with us and disagrees with us. This is just a place where you can say anything. And the show has always been about coming together and not moving further apart. And at the end of the movie that I talked about on Netflix, The Social Dilemma, social media is playing a lot in people's opinions right now. And the way most of them saw it ending was in a civil war of some kind. Let's not have a civil war again, people. I
agree.
Let's make that the goal of the podcast, is to prevent the Civil War Part 2. Nobody wants that. Let's all get along, folks. And that's been White Jesus and Black Moses talking about race. Black Moses, thank you very much for your words, man. It's good. It's good to have you on the air, and it's good. Your voice is excellent to have on the air, and I'm just really sucking up to you right now. I love you, buddy. And we'll go to the next thing.
There's fake news, then there's real news. Here's the real news with White Jesus.
Welcome to the real news. I'm White Jesus, and here's a string of jokes. Times Square will hold a digital New Year's Eve celebration to ring in 2021. Everything's going virtual. CNN will also be doing a New Year's Eve differently by developing a virtual reality app that makes the viewer feel like Don Lemon is right in front of you, drunk as hell. Dude, have you ever seen Don Lemon on New Year's Eve? Every year, no fail, he gets too wasted on CNN. One time he started just like making out with his boyfriend, and then the other time he got like his ear pierced or something by just a dude who walked up to him.
Oh wow! Well, real TV, man, real TV,
dude. Like, if there's anything I'll miss that was normal to me on New Year's Eve, it's going to be drunk Don Lemon. Our next story: Walmart announces new Black Friday plans. The new plan includes a new name for the event. The new name, you guessed it, Friday of Color. So, Walmart is woke. They're going with Friday of Color. And that seems a little retarded.
It does.
Hey, you may have seen like clips of this on the news or social media. Protesters boo Trump and First Lady as they paid respect to Justice Ginsburg. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see that, but he probably thought the boos were probably not for him, for maybe Mike Pence or something. So, you know, he doesn't think anyone boos him. He thinks he's the greatest president since Swiss cheese, and I don't think Swiss cheese has been a president, but he thinks he's better than him. So,
dude, wait till you hear the rest of the story. The president stated that he thought it was a very beautiful moment when the crowd started chanting, Ruth, Ruth. You know, that's how Trump hears it, man. He heard the boos and he was like, oh, they're chanting for Ruth. Ooh, yeah. That's hilarious. And then he was shocked when the crowd started chanting, whip it out, whip it out. But they were saying, vote him out. I think he has.
Yeah, I do definitely believe he thought that. I really do.
He's a funny guy, man. Hey, North Korea issues a rare apology after killing South Korean official at sea. Kim Jong-un said he's very sorry for the unsavory event that took place. Dude, North Korea needs to realize that they aren't Canada, man. You just can't kill somebody and say you're sorry.
Hey, that's what Canadians would say.
That's what they would say, and then sometimes you're forgiven. You know, it depends on the circumstance.
And then on top of that, with their free health care, they'll probably try to revive you, and you won't get a bill for it.
Dude, I can't believe it's even a news story that they are very sorry for killing the dude. It's funny, man. North Korea's funny. Costco reportedly drops Palmetto cheese over BLM controversy. Well, I guess I knew we would get here one day. Cheese is racist. Dude, Trader Joe's. You ever heard of that story?
Oh, yeah, we have a bunch of those here in Texas.
Yeah, man, they were going to do away with all the racial sounding names of some of their products because there was like calling for them to do that, and then they said no, we're going to keep all of our racially sounding names, like Trader Jose's tacos.
I saw that one,
and thank goodness, man, because I really love Trader Joe's cracker ass crackers.
You would, right?
I would, man. Jesus? Dude, it was one of the best jokes in one episode, and I just resurrected that thing. I talked about Costco and racist cheese, didn't I? Dude, I think trying to look like Howard Stern on video is interrupting with my reading. Because I got sunglasses on and my hair's in my face. But I was like, I don't know. How do I want to present myself? Kind of Jesus looking, but also like I could be, Howard Stern. Our next story, suspicions raised after woman says she accidentally shot her boyfriend. Further...
Yeah.
Did you hear about that?
Yeah, well, I mean, that happens all the time in Texas, so that happens every week, so we don't really think it's an accident.
Dude, the police say that they were... the suspicion was raised when she then accidentally shot him again in the knee, then accidentally dug a hole in the backyard, and then accidentally started wrapping his body in garbage bags.
A lot of accidents, I tell you.
Dude, this lady is the most accident-prone murderer I've ever seen in my life. Hey, man, a grizzly bear mauls a hunter to death in Alaska.
Oh no! I want to move to Alaska. I can't let anyone know that because I love Alaska.
There's bears, man. You got to look out for bears. But the way I look at this, dude, is that's hunters with 2,500 points, and then the bears come in like with a 3-pointer. That's just the breaks. If you go out hunting bears, you might get mauled to death by one who has had enough of this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's just a chance if you go out hunting bears. Our next story, feds relax protections for endangered woodpecker. Are you expecting a penis joke? No. The endangered woodpecker, the endangered bird, the woody woodpecker, just laughed in the faces of the feds, then pecked them on the forehead, finally flying away, still laughing. That's ridiculous. It's unseemly. But it's that woody woodpecker. Next story, Berkeley to ban junk food at grocery checkouts. Stoners at Berkeley were going to protest the ban, but got really high and forgot. When reached for comment, the protest organizer, Chad, stated, "Oh, man, dude." That's one thing.
Is Chad you? Are you Chad?
No. But I did a good Chad voice. That's a problem with if you gain some type of huge ambition and you smoke pot, man. You got to make sure if you plan a protest that you follow through with it, man. Chad dropped the ball. In more bear news, a brown bear breaks into zoo and kills popular alpaca. This incident raises many questions. How did the bear break into the zoo? Why did they need to mention the bear was brown? And most importantly, how does an alpaca become popular? Who is this popular alpaca, and what makes him more popular than other alpacas? He's like the Fonz of alpacas. He's the coolest alpaca in high school, man. I wonder what he does to be a popular alpaca. I had trouble being popular in high school, also elementary school and middle school and community college. And finally, a man's death after eating black licorice reported. Okay?
How much did he eat?
I know what everybody's thinking, man. Here comes white Jesus with a black joke. And I gotta say, folks, I'm disappointed that you would think that. The real news here is that the authorities are now questioning a Mary Buck who performs at a gentleman's club under the name Black Licorice. The county is now investigating their VIP lounge policies. You see what assumptions can do? You didn't think you were getting a stripper joke, did you?
No, we weren't prepared for that.
Well, that's just my contribution to the theme of today's show, which is racial unity. Because we talked about race, and that's awesome when you hear a black and white dude talk about race. And that wasn't any kind of fake news, guys. That was the real news with white Jesus. And, folks, this is the wrap up. Black Moses, we've reached that part of the show where we wrap it up like a Polaroid picture. No, that's Shake It Up. Well, needless to say, we're wrapping up the show like something. So, like, final thoughts? Did you already leave the show?
Oh no, I didn't. I didn't leave. I'm still here. I'm still listening, and no, I think we covered a lot. Rosita didn't call.
You know what? That is strange, man. It was weird. No, wait. Did she call? I can't even remember, man. But, I think getting real was a nice part of the show, man. And we wrap it up with little, jokes and shit into a nice little digestible burrito for the folks at home. And now we got video, so, I don't know, they can see white Jesus, which is almost like white privilege because they're not seeing you. We'll find a way. We'll find a way. Or we'll find somebody who matches your description. I hope you took that joke well.
I'm one of a kind. Population 1, you can't come, but yeah. No, we'll figure it out, man. We will, man. We're doing a great job. I hope the listeners like our conversations. Again, we aren't trying to offend anybody. We're just talking, and hopefully everyone enjoys the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Like from the most hardcore leftists to the biggest Trump fans in the world, man. We want them all to listen. And we want them all to call and say what they want on the hotline, which is 954-580-FUNK. And maybe we can put it at the bottom of the screen. I don't know. I've never recorded video before, but maybe I'll be able to put stuff on the video. Maybe I can make myself better looking. Maybe there's like a filter or something where I can
they got filter of eyeballs and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, it's been a very excellent show. I didn't have any plans for the wrap up. I guess we'll just stop talking. And hopefully, next week we'll have you back. Maybe there'll be new racism stories to talk about. Who knows? Maybe Trump will accidentally say the N-word during the debates. There's a plethora of things that could happen within a week, man. And we'll bring that to the folks at home next week. How's that?
That sounds good to me.
Cool, bro. Well, we will see you next week. Remember always that Black Jesus and... No, wait. Did I say I was Black Jesus? Or did I say Black... Anyway, White Jesus and Black Moses love you always. Good night. We'll see you next week.